Okay, so I'm setting up for our book club meeting tonight. I'm meeting with my elementary kiddos. I've got some extra worksheets. We're gonna do a word search, just stuff over there for them to get started. But it is our first meeting and I wanted to go through, we're reading, or we have already read, we're here to discuss Junie B. Jones is a Party Animal. And look at the little snack plates I have ready. Because it's Junie B. Jones is a Party Animal, we're doing pajama party. So I have my slippers on and my PJs, brought my stuffies, so the kids are welcome to bring their stuffies too. And then for snacks, I feel like popcorn is such a classic pajama party snack. The teddy bears, because we're bringing our stuffies. And then in the book, one of the meals they eat are like, I think she calls it like Franken beans or something, like basically bean and weenies, which I wasn't gonna give to kids, so we had jelly beans and meat stick. And then we had Welch's grape juice with lids because we were at the library. But because in the book, they have to, like they're at a super fancy house and they can't spill their juice. I think it's like their red juice on the white tablecloth. So same thing, we're gonna have grape juice and you can't spill it because you're at the library. So welcome to book club. I was gonna start this video off with, please excuse my hair, but you know what? It's a pajama party, so your hair should be a little messy, right? We're doing a book club talking about Junie B. Jones is a Party Animal. And I did already show a little bit of the setup and things like that, but I wanted to go over like the exact like specific activities that I have planned for this book. So the first thing is, obviously we're gonna talk about like, did you like the book? What was your favorite part? The basics, but I also went ahead and like, I personally flagged while I was reading, like over here we have a simile, over here we have an example of synonyms, which this age level, like the second, third grade, fourth grade age level, they may not be familiar with those words, but we can introduce them. And we have a big whiteboard over here, and I have my iPad hooked up to the TV so we can do like examples and talk about those. So I'm excited about that. And then it's also to encourage these kiddos to do their own. In their goodie bags, they got sticky notes like, hey, for the next book, like flag your pages when you find interesting things or stuff you like, right? Then we're gonna go over, I give them all a little pack, like a small pack of note cards. So we have nonsense words. What I want them to do for their nonsense words are to write down words that just seem weird, like seem silly, seem goofy. We're reading it and we're like, what is that supposed to mean? How do you even sound that out? So we listed a couple. The first three that I noted were just conversation versus conservation and then the word twirl. So just things that like, even if you go and look them up in a dictionary and you find out the definition, still write them down because maybe your friends didn't know and we can all kind of compare what nonsense words we find. So I'll encourage them to start their nonsense word card for their next book. We are going to do a word search because who doesn't love word searches? And it is a clumsy day word search because a lot of things happen in the story where stuff gets broken and stuff like that. So they have to find little like clumsy words in their word search. So we'll do that together. It is our first book club, so we'll talk about things like the calendar, the reading list, stuff like basics, but I'm talking about actual activities with the story. Of course, they will get a sticker if they completed their journal. We all have composition notebooks where we should be maintaining some sort of like reading log. It doesn't have to be perfect, but some semblance of a reading log. And then writing down activities. Like if I assign an activity, then I want them to kind of like be able to complete that activity before we go to book club. So they'll receive a sticker if they did that. And then they will get a little punch on their punch card because after so many punches leads up to our end of the year or end of summer pool party. So obviously it's designated to be like if you do all of your work, then you earn the pool party, you know? And then for today, what we're gonna do is I printed off little activities for next time to glue in here so they have it ready to go for our next book. If they have to miss the next meeting or if they're sick or whatever, they can do the work ahead of time and be able to send it over to me. And also it won't get lost because it'll be glued in here and they won't be like, I forgot what we're supposed to do. It's right here. Where they have like specific questions for their next book, which is Lemonade War. So like, what secret ingredient would you add to your lemonade? What would you do differently to sell more lemonade than your neighbor? Things like that. And they get to pick an activity to go with it. Some of those activities are like draw your favorite character, fix the worst part of the story, rate your book out of 5 stars, use a new word in its complete sentence. Just a little something they can do that's independent compared to the questions that are like direct for them. So I think that's gonna be it. And we'll kind of chat about like expectancies and what they can plan for next time versus what they did for this time and go from there. So cheers, friends. Had cotton candy, Lonnie, because it's party animal day, you know?